Zach with a podcast named Tim, here with another Mighty Morphin Power Rangers review. Today's episode is The Trouble with Shellshock, and as you guessed it, there will also probably be a monster review for Shellshock. I know it's surprising that that is the name of the monster of this episode. This is from Season 1, Episode 22. And before we get into the review and Monster of the Week rating, please do give the video a thumbs up. And of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the wonderful things we do. So basically in this episode, which I enjoyed overall, it's probably a weird monster to rate for a variety of reasons we'll get into, but I thought it was a good episode. So the Power Ranger, especially coming right off of Green with Evil, this is very different immediately. So the Rangers are playing some hoops. All 6 Rangers are playing some hoops, and Squatt and Baboo have decided that they are going to ruin the Rangers' day. Rita is taking a nap. I'd be curious to see why that happened in the actual Sentai, but for Power Rangers, she's taking a nap, and they have decided they're going to make a monster. They're going to, they're going to earn some brownie points, show that they can handle the Rangers while she is out. They don't use Fencer at all. This is a monster of their own doing, and basically there is a turtle, clay turtle, and they decided to put some weapons in. It's actually one of the few times they specifically mention, we got to give this person some weapons, and it's a variety of little trinkets that they put into the monster maker with it. And we'll get into those when we get to the actual fight. But of course, the monster ends up showing. They do send the putties down first, specifically with the purpose of saying they want to soften the Rangers up and surprise them. And after that, they end up sending the Shellshock down. And Shellshock is, I think, a good monster. Here's the thing. So Shellshock is able to pretty quickly dispense with almost the entire team of Rangers. And if you've never seen Shellshock, which I'm sure you have if you're watching this, it's a turtle with a street light, traffic light attached to the back. And if you were to say that, you'd be like, that's dumb. That's a stupid monster. How could this be any good? And then also it's got, I think, 2 yellow painted zeros on the back. The thing is, it has a lot of different powers, and they're kind of inventive. So, and I always appreciate unique powers. So it has a go beam, where it shoots from the green light of the traffic beam. It shoots Trini, and it means she can't stop moving. It's a go beam. You have to go. So she's running around and can't stop running. And I was like, well, that's effective. That does force her to retire her out eventually. And so after that, it uses a baseball bat, and it hits like they're like exploding baseballs. It hits a bunch of them, and then uses a cannon. And it puts its turtle head into its shell and comes out with a cannon to fire at the Rangers. And then it uses a stop beam. I think they call it a freeze or a stop beam. And basically it does the opposite. It stops and freezes blue, black, and pink Rangers. Tommy is off working out. He's not in this episode really helping out until later. But luckily the Red Ranger is able to teleport back to the command center with the other Rangers that have been frozen. And the good news is, Zordon says he has a way to stop the the monster, which is of course, it's one of those weird convoluted ones where, we have to make up something that's somewhere else in the galaxy, and if you find it, it'll stop them. And this time, there is a special flower that only grows in one place of the universe, Mountain of Hope. Mountain of Hope. That's where he sends Trini to find this flower. If you sprinkle this flower on the monster, it'll reverse the effects. Goldar is talking to the Squatt and Baboo, basically saying, you guys are going to be in trouble. don't care if your monster is good or not. You didn't do it without Rita's permission. You didn't get the permission slip signed, so you're going to be in trouble. But Rita wakes up and is actually very excited to hear that the monster has been handling business. Of course, she immediately makes the monster grow, and the Red Ranger has to fight with the Tyrannosaurus Dinozord exclusively at this point because all the other Rangers are out of business. Of course, luckily, the Green Ranger and the Dragonzord do show up. They have a fight, as always, and there's a great moment where Shellshock does the classic kids 90s not routine. He's like, "Oh, you weakened me." And like, "Oh, we did it." Not. But Trini does show up. She's actually dancing on the head of Shellshock with the little flower and kind of like sprinkling the dust on him, and that's takes care of everything else. Of course, the monster is then defeated. Rita is not happy, and the Rangers return, play some more basketball. I should say Bulk and Skull were somewhat involved in this episode. They show up, say the court's ours, this is our turf, and they run into a hot dog cart, which they then have to pay for. Basically, the Rangers pay. They gamble. Very bad. Don't do that. They take a bet between Zach and Tommy about who can win a game, and the other one will have to buy the other lunch. Zach wins. Billy then comes out, doubles him up, and then he wins with a slam dunk from Billy. So showing off some of those gymnastic skills. That's the episode as a whole. I think this is a really good monster because I'm getting to my rating here. If you've never seen the show, we do 5 different categories. It is the look of the monster, the powers it has, the plan, the success of the monster, and the voice. And so for the look of the monster, I gave it a 2 out of 5. It's fine. You could argue it's worse because it is a turtle with a traffic light out of its head. But, I'm going to give it some slack because it's Squatt and Baboo, and they're just having fun with it. For the powers, I gave it a 5. I mean, it has a variety of powers at its disposal, and the go beam and the stop beam are hilarious and fantastic and fun. So, 5 out of 5. For the plan, it was hard to rate because it's Squatt and Baboo kind of just going out on their own and not Rita hatching up a plan. But I gave it a 3. Gonna cut them some slack. I think they did a pretty good job coming up with this. And again, tactically, they did send the putties in specifically to soften them up, and they said that's why they were doing it. It wasn't just because. Success 5. Look, everyone but Jason and Tommy wasn't involved, but all of the other Rangers were disposed of, and had it not been for one flower that grows in one place in the universe, Shellshock would have won. So, not too bad of a success so again, 5 out of 5. And for the voice, 3. I thought it had I don't know how to describe it, like a 20s mobster kind of voice to it, but it was fun, and it went a lot well with the more comedic aspects of the episode. So overall, I gave Shellshock an 18, which is a pretty high rating, and I'm very surprised. I'm sure most people would probably not rate this as a very high monster. How would you rate it? What did you think of this episode? I'd greatly appreciate you checking this out, liking the video, and subscribing, and maybe even commenting below on your thoughts. Again, thank you for checking this out. I am Zach, and we'll see you next time on Podcast Name 10.